In most parts of the world, it is called football. In other parts, especially right here in America, we love to call it soccer, while the Portuguese-speaking countries calls it jogo bonito, which simply means the beautiful game. And that's exactly what we bring to you on this show and at this particular time every week on this beautiful station. My name is Bayonle Arashi. Welcome to Limitless Soccer. Today we have so much for you on the show, and I hope the time permits us to give you all the content that we have for you today on the program. Last week, Saturday, Real Madrid actually showed superiority over Italian champions Juventus in that Champions League final in Cardiff, Wales. We have the highlights for you as promised on this program last weekend. So without saying too much today on the show, let's bring you the highlights of that Champions League final. What a beautiful game it was, and of course you have to see it to judge yourself. The program is Limitless Soccer. Welcome, and of course enjoy the highlights between Real Madrid and Juventus in the Champions League final this season. I'll be back. That Champions League victory makes it the first time a team in the Champions League era is winning the Champions League back-to-back. The last time it happened was in the 1989-1990 football season, which AC Milan did it, and of course it was called the European Cup back then. And also that particular victory was even more special for one player, Cristiano Ronaldo. That guy has now won UEFA Champions League 4 times, of course matching his fiercest rival Lionel Messi of Barcelona, also winning it for the 4th time himself. That rivalry will continue for as long as these two players keep playing football. It was even more special for Cristiano Ronaldo because over the week he was named as the wealthiest athlete in the entire world. Cristiano earned a total of $93 million last year alone, the last 12 months, of course, as an athlete. That's such a big year for Cristiano Ronaldo. He has done everything well this year. 2017, he has won the European Cup for Portugal, the first time they did it ever. And of course, you need to see that game to feel the emotion and to see what actually happened to him in that particular game. Also, this year, he won the Ballon d'Or, he won the FIFA Player Award, and of course, he has also won Champions League and, of course, the Laliga title in the Spanish La Liga. Quickly to other transfer news now. Darren Fletcher of former West Bromwich Albion has been signed by Stoke City just within the week. And also Arsenal, the Gunners, they captured the Schalke 04 left back, joining them, the 23-year-old joining them on a free transfer, just as Darren Fletcher also joined Stoke on a free transfer. A quick break on the show, and I'll be back to bring you more information and news and highlights today on Limitless Soccer. The program is still Limitless Soccer. Welcome back. Still on transfer news before moving on to highlights of the week. Mario Balotelli, I'm very sure you know that name, very famous striker, the Italian striker. Since he left Nice, he's been rumored that he's going to be playing for that big club in Germany, that is Borussia Dortmund. His agent came out exclusively within the week saying the bad boy himself will be heading to Germany come the next season to be playing for Borussia Dortmund. This past week, most countries of the world, including Europe, United States, and Africa, were involved in international friendlies. And of course, Nigeria was not left out. Nigeria beat our Togolese national team in France by 3-0. I was supposed to bring the highlight of that game to you, but it's not yet been found. But be sure that as soon as we have that highlight, it's going to come your way. But most of the highlights of those friendlies are going to come. Some of them are really top games. Italy versus Uruguay. Spain was involved in a friendly. Ivory Coast was involved in a friendly against the Netherlands. So many games for you on this week episode of Limitless Soccer. Enjoy the highlights of the international friendlies, and I'll be back with more on the show today. did you get to see that Danish goalkeeper against Germany? I'm sure the Germans were thanking their stars for actually getting that single goal they got against Denmark in that 1-1 draw. What a very, very tough game that particular friendly between Germany and Denmark was. Quickly to the match of the week on Limitless Soccer. It is none but the Major League Soccer highlight, and of course it featured our own Houston Dynamo away at Seattle Sounders. Of course, the Houston Dynamo have done not so good away this season in the Major League Soccer. They lost that game to Seattle Sounders by 1-0. They really need to start getting results away from home. But the game was played last week Sunday before the international break, so we have the highlight for you today in high definition. Seattle Sounders versus Houston Dynamo highlight on Limitless Soccer, and I'll be back. And before I go, this program is open for sponsorship, and of course we're very interactive. You can always reach us, tweet at us, Instagram, Facebook us, whatever you can do. Just get in touch with us on all the platforms showing on the screen right now. Let's bring you that highlight, and of course I'll be back on the show. Welcome back from that highlight of the Major League Soccer. The program, as I said earlier, is open to sponsorship. For sponsorship details, call any of the numbers showing on the screen right now. The Under-20 World Cup party in South Korea is actually going to be rounded off this weekend, and surprisingly, the English Under-20 national team have made it to the final of any major competition, any major FIFA competition since 1966. Hear it again, since 1966, including any age level, under 17, under 20, under 23, or even the Three Lions, the senior national team. So good for them. And of course, I'm very proud to say some Nigerian blood are actually involved in that particular success for England. 4 Nigerian names are involved in that English team that got to the final of this year under 20 World Cup final. They will be playing against Venezuela tomorrow, Sunday, in that famous final in South Korea. And of course, at this point, I can only wish the young Lions the best and hope they actually win this for that football crazy nation that has one of the best leagues in the world, the English Premier League. The Zambians could not move past the quarterfinal stage of that competition. They gave us so much hope. They gave Africa so much hope in that tournament with the way they played in the preliminary and of course the first knockout game, but the Italians stopped them in the quarterfinals. The game ended 3-2, and you may not believe this, but it's the truth. The Zambians actually played against 10 men for almost 60 minutes in that particular game, and this actually got me worried, and of course got me thinking again that when is it going to be right for Africa? That was a very good chance for those boys to move on to the semi-finals, and at that stage anything could have happened in that tournament, but they lost it. The Italians were very dogged, so they got the victory, but of course they were also stopped by the English. So more highlights from the Under-20 World Cup, and of course this week we are starting from the knockout stages highlight for you on the show, and I'll be back to round off the show for this week. It's still Limitless Soccer with yours truly, Bayonle Arashi. I'll be back. Welcome back. The question of the week was right after those highlights. Of course, if you want to get to answer those questions, just follow the instruction by tweeting your answer to @MidaSoccer or SMS your answer to the number that was provided during the time the question was shown on the program. As we reach home stretch today on the show, the World Cup qualifier is going on across the world in UEFA, in the CONCACAF, in the CAF, Confederation of African Football region as well, including Nigeria playing against South Africa today as well. Be sure next week on the show we'll bring you all the best highlights of the games that were played in the qualifiers. And of course, it's not going to be a boring summer at all, as the Confederations Cup, which is a tournament that actually prelude to the FIFA World Cup, is going to start in Russia come next weekend. And that's it this week on the show. Special thanks to the production crew of this show. My name is Bayonle Arashi. Till I come your way again next week, keep doing sport. Bye-bye now.